In every generation, there is a chosen one. She alone will stand against the vampires, the demons, and the forces of darkness. She is the Slayer, and this is her story.
What are our sacred texts? What makes a text sacred anyway? Unitarian Universalists claim to draw from many sources, including direct experience of mystery and wonder, words and deeds of prophetic individuals, as well as wisdom from the world's faith traditions. Religious liberals believe that revelation is not sealed, that divine truths can be revealed in many forms. Is it possible that one of these forms could be a fictional blonde high school student from California, called to use her powers to slay vampires and save the world? For me, it is. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is one of my sacred texts, a popular TV show that ran from 1997 through 2003. It tells the story of Buffy, a young woman gifted with extraordinary powers and called to slay the demons, the vampires, and the forces of evil. As a seminary student on the path to religious leadership, I identify with Buffy and her efforts to slay demons, both internal and external, her work of saving the world. Buffy struggles with her call, and she is challenged to balance her Slayer career, school, friends, and romantic relationships. And Buffy is not alone in her struggle. She has a community of friends and family working with her. And though I learn from the story of Buffy, I know in many ways it's a problematic story. With Buffy, like all of the texts that I call sacred, I engage with the text and read it critically, not passively accepting the messages. The show idealizes an exclusive, unrealistic standard of feminine beauty and thinness that does not reflect the diversity and true beauty of humanity. In addition, though the main characters are largely indifferent to organized religion, there are themes of Christian hegemony throughout the episodes. The only religious symbols capable of repelling vampires are crosses and holy water. Flaming chalices don't have the same kind of power. So, based on all of this, maybe I could just reject the text and say that there's nothing to learn from it. Part of Buffy's message does call to me, and I believe the show has value in spite of its flaws. Reading and watching Buffy with a critical eye, it is possible to see what is of religious value, where the limitations are, and to integrate the lessons learned into one's own ever-evolving spiritual and religious path. Today, I invite you to listen, watch, and sing with an open heart and an open mind.
Who here remembers high school? Who here would be willing to go back? There's a story about a girl named Buffy who's in high school and seems to have everything. She is the teenager that other teenagers wish they could be. She is popular and athletic, the head of the cheerleading squad with a really cute jock boyfriend. Everything is as it should be. And then she meets a man. And this man tells her that there's something different about her, something special. High school is the last place you want to be different. She resisted. There's absolutely nothing special about her. No, sir. And especially Vampire Slayer. Because, hello, vampires don't exist. And if they do, they should be dealt with by someone who has significantly more free time on their hands, a less awesome manicure, and way less cute shoes. But there are vampires. And Buffy can kill them. And the thing about seeing something is that you can't unsee it. Vampires are all around her. And so Buffy slays some. And then she slays some more. And then she starts to act different. She stops hanging out with the popular kids. She ditches the jock boyfriend. And she starts to wear a lot of black. Actually, if you take out the vampire part, that's a story some people here might be familiar with. So Buffy is, she's changing and slaying things and gets a musician boyfriend. Mother's getting a little scared. And then she burns down the gym. Now, In her defense, there were vampires in the gym. But still, burning down the gym, that doesn't look good. So her mother hightails it out of the city to the safest, most innocuous sounding place she can think of, Sunnydale. Doesn't that just sound friendly? What her mother didn't know about Sunnydale is that Sunnydale is on the mouth of hell. Literally, right on it. The gates to hell are through the school library, which some people might think was appropriate. So here there's not just vampires to slay, there's werewolves and ghosts and angry spirits. It's like a full-time job for Buffy. So she's still slaying, and she is still different. But here in Sunnydale, no one remembers the popular girl that she used to be. No one knows that she was the head of the cheerleading squad and had a cute boyfriend. Here, she's just a weird girl who keeps sticks in her purse. And Buffy is alone. But the thing about weird social outcasts in high school is sometimes they get to be friends with the other weird social outcasts. They love each other and monsters. They fight monsters and each other, and they save the world a lot.
I've got a theory that it's a demon, a dancing demon.
Yes, something isn't right there. I've got a theory, something is dreaming, and we're all stuck inside this wacky Broadway nightmare. I've got a theory, we should work this out.
To give you some background information about my relationship to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I didn't really pay attention to the series until I arrived here at this seminary. I moved in with a roommate who owns every episode of every season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Before attending orientation and starting classes, I was preparing for theological education by sitting in my apartment watching a teenager on a television show fighting vampires and demons. Each time I've sat down to watch this particular episode of Buffy, I have never been alone. Something about the songs and the emotions expressed in them brings people together. I remember introducing a friend to Buffy the Vampire Slayer through this episode, where we sat her down on the couch and watched as two of my closest friends sang every line of every song. What can't we face when we're together? What's in this place that we can't weather? The clip of I've Got a Theory /Bunnies /If We're Together from this musical episode gives us a glimpse of how the characters of the show work together to solve problems and fight demons. Friendship plays a central role in Buffy's support network, in the relationships that sustain her and the conflict her role involves. After seemingly being parted from my friends and moving out here to attend seminary, watching how Buffy and her friends supported each other provided the perfect escape from my own reality. This show helped me to connect better with my roommate. We would talk for hours about the dynamics between the characters. I even found folks here who share my love of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. What can't we face if we're together? What's in this place that we can't weather? One point that is important for me to make is who is not in the group. All of the characters in Buffy's support circle are white. Each of them comes from a mostly middle to upper class background. Often in the show, they are fighting characters that are portrayed as people of color. In this musical episode, the demon that is causing outbursts of musical theatrics is portrayed as a black man. Leadership is framed in a certain way, and it is important to take notice of that. Perhaps during those moments when we all think we can make it on our own, friends are there to remind us that it's okay that we can't. They hold us in an interdependent web of love and support. Friends are there for us when we face those internal and external demons, and they continue to love us in the midst of conflict.
As a white, upper-middle-class woman, I often find myself falling into the same pattern as Buffy. I take on an excessive amount of responsibilities, I become overwhelmed, and I deal with it by further isolating myself from friends and family. I forget about the amazing people in my community who are also doing the work of religious leadership, of educating to counter oppressions, and creating just and sustainable communities. In our school, our lives, our work, and in our congregations, we depend on one another to accomplish our goals and our dreams.